On September 28th, 2020,
The arrogation of mankind ends now.
we met the unknown mommy. Unknown God. Just like her name, everything about her is unknown. What is her real name? How is she related to Paimon? Is she still alive? And what the hell did we even do to piss her off? It is all unknown. As you all know, currently the identity of the unknown god is thought to be one of the 4 shades of the Primordial One, presumably the shade of Void. But what if I told you that we are all wrong? What if I told you that the unknown god is actually the second Descender? In the game, we have 5 artifact sets which are said to be representative of the Primordial One and its 4 shades. The Flower of Life representing the shade of life, the Bloom of Death for the shade of death, and Sands of Aeon for the shade of time. The Circlet of Logos literally translates to the Crown of Reason in Chinese. In Honkai Impact III, we have the Hersher of Reason, whose power is the ability to construct anything as long as they know how it works. Given that the Primordial One created the human realm along with the humans in Teyvat, it could be possible that the Crown of Reason or the Circlet of Logos could be attributed to the Primordial One itself. Now this leaves us with the final artifact set, the Goblet of Eonotham, which translates to Cup of Emptiness or Cup of Void. So this has led to the possibility that the 4th shade could be the shade of Void. Now coming back to Honkai Impact III, we have the Hersher of the Void, who bears huge resemblances to the unknown god.
Raging wind, while your visage fades away, where the world.
From all this, we can assume that the unknown god could indeed be one of the 4 shades of the Primordial One, more particularly the shade of Void. But there is one problem. The power of the Void, according to Honkai Impact III, mostly includes creation of portals, alteration of reality within voids, and teleportation. Now the unknown god was not only able to create portals and teleport the twins, but was also able to teleport them 500 years apart, indicating that she had powers over time as well. Moreover, the unknown god was also able to seal or steal away the light elemental powers of both the twins.
Some kind of seal was cast upon me, and I lost my power.
So how could it be possible that the unknown god, the supposed shade of Void, could have control over time when there is already a shade of time? How could it be possible that among the 4 shades, only one of them is called the Sustainer of Heavenly Principles, when in reality, sustaining or keeping or upholding the Heavenly Principles should be the duty of all the 4 shades itself? The only possibility is that the unknown god is not one of the 4 shades of the Primordial One and is not the shade of Void. Then who exactly is the unknown god? She is the second Descender. According to Nahida's hypothesis, the first Descender is the Heavenly Principles or the Usurper, that is the Primordial One. The 4th Descender is none other than the Traveler. And from the 4.2 Archon quest, we know that the 3rd Descender is dead and their remains were used to make the 7 Gnosis. But then what about the 2nd Descender? Why is it that there has been no mention about the 2nd Descender so far? From the book Before Sun and Moon, we know of an entity called the Second who came, who challenged the Primordial One for the throne of the heavens. Now since the Second who came is also an entity from outside of Teyvat and appeared after the Primordial One came, it would only be natural to believe that the Second who came is the 2nd Descender. But from our encounter with the Dendro Dragon Sovereign Apep, we know that there was no mention of any unknown entity called the Second who came. However, Apep did mention that the Dragon King Nibleung, did return from outside the world with newly acquired forbidden knowledge to fight the Primordial One once again. This means that the second who came is none other than the Dragon King Nibleung himself. So naturally, Nibleung, or the second who came, should be the second descender, right? Although in English translations it is written as second who came. In Chinese and Japanese translations it's actually written as the second who came after. This actually provides more clarity to what Newell said. The Great War of Vengeance most probably refers to the battle the Primordial One had with the second who came after, that is Nibleung, who came from outside the world with newly found power. This war severely injured the Primordial One to an extent that they could no longer use their absolute authority to suppress the original order of the world. And also the Primordial One created the Gnosis along with another entity, the one who came after. This essentially means that in the second battle where Nibleung came from outside the world with forbidden knowledge, the Primordial One was gravely injured and the Dragon King, or the second who came after, died. Then the Primordial One along with the one who came after created the 7 Gnosis from the remains of the Dragon King Nibleung. So this would mean that while the Primordial One is the first descender, the second who came after, or the Dragon King Nibleung, is the third, and the second descender would be the one who came after. Now in the Honkai verse, one of the main antagonists as seen in the manga is the 14th Herrscher of the old world, the Herrscher of the end, or the Herrscher of finality. The Herrscher of the end is also seen as one of the main villains in the game Gun Girl Z. And interestingly enough, the Herrscher of the End is born as a result of a fusion between the Herrscher of the Void and Kiana Kaslana. Apart from having powers of the Void, the Herrscher of the End's powers include flight, time manipulation, and light manipulation. Now if you think about it, this resembles the unknown god who has an appearance similar to the Herrscher of Void, can fly, was able to send the twins 500 years apart in time, and was also able to seal their light elemental powers. The Herrscher of the End is also the one who destroyed the human civilizations and put an end to all humans in the previous world of the Honkai verse. And from the Cataclysm cutscene, we know that the destruction of Khaenri'ah and its human civilizations was all the unknown god's doing. So now as you can see, the unknown god resembles the Herrscher of the End more than she resembles the Herrscher of the Void. So this would make it seem that the unknown god might not be a shade of the Primordial One, but a different entity capable of light time manipulation and destroying human civilizations in Teyvat. A different entity who became the keeper for the heavenly principles. A different entity who came into this world following the Primordial One and its 4 shades. The one who came after. So the unknown god is the second descender, the one who came after, who helped the Primordial One to create the 7 Gnosis from the remains of the third descender. Now later in Honkai Impact the Third, it is revealed that the Herrscher of the End is actually dead and that her corpse is resting on the moon. So what if the reason why the Heavenly Principles has been silent for the past 500 years is because the unknown god is also dead?